Hey, Carter, thanks for your help on it.
Hi, hello, everyone. It is 6:34 p.m. Oops.
Oh, you get started. Board members.
Can you promote me? Okay.
Not on the committee.
It is 6:34 p.m. and I'm going to call this meeting to order. This is the May Executive Committee meeting for Manhattan Community Board 2. I am the chair of the board, Valerie Della Rosa, and we have a quorum, so we're going to get started. Just so everyone knows, on agenda item 7, we will adjourn prior to agenda item 7, the public portion of this meeting, and we will go into executive session, which is only available for CB2 board members. So anyone in the room or on Zoom that is not a board member will be asked to leave because we are going to go into executive session. So with that, I see some new faces. So just want to point out that this portion of the meeting, agenda items 1 through 6, are open to the public. However, there is no public session or public comment during this meeting. We do ask if you have something you would like to speak about to, if you're a member of the public, to do that at our full board meeting this Thursday. And with that, do we have approval for the April 2026 Executive Committee minutes?
Yes.
So, okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Great. So Susan and Donna. For the chair's report, I'm going to be very expedient. I'll give a fuller report at full board. We have a lot of different things going on. We should hear this Friday, if not the beginning of next week, about reappointments and appointments from the Borough President's Office. And with that, I'm going to conclude my chair's report so we can move through our business. We'll give a full report at full board. Mark, do you have the district manager's report or a short version?
A short version.
Great.
You should know that the bill in City Council to limit the term of your district manager is alive and kicking and will apparently come up for a meeting and a hearing in June. You already passed a resolution on that. I propose that we just resubmit that. The foil that is, yes, basically I would be on a 4-year clock, and we can talk about what that means later. It requires strong drink. Let's see. Doris, the Department of Record Information Services, is now requiring, or will, as of June 2027, require that all FOIL requests sent to the board be responded to through a portal. And even if the request didn't come through the portal, which means that our staff has to spend time uploading and creating something that's already been done, no, they did not increase our budget in order to do that. We've talked previously about expanding the role of the district service cabinet. We can catch up more on that on Thursday. There is a request from our friends at Visiting Neighbors over here. Saturday, June 13th, there is a senior citizen talent show. And they are looking for a member of Community Board 2 to be the judge. I have the flyer if anybody's interested.
I know, Susan.
Saturday.
Do you have to have talent to be a judge or just appreciate talent?
I think, I hope it's the latter.
I'm gonna.
And I don't know if this is typically our role.
That's awesome.
The judging station is right here at Bleecker and LaGuardia. Full board package will be assembled tomorrow. I already have some of your resolutions. Thank you. Looking for the rest. And the June calendar with resolutions, the first June calendar is slated for this Friday. We'll do our best to get that out.
Is that possible? I don't want it going out, like, it's also the big holiday weekend, just for everyone. So is that possible?
It is unlikely to happen during daylight hours.
Okay, then maybe we hold it till Tuesday. Does that work for you or no?
I mean, ideally, it's better if people know which applications are coming up in June, even if all the questionnaires don't get linked.
Okay,
So. if
okay.
that's what
I just wanted to go out
happens.
before 5. I mean, it's just,
So
I don't want anyone to stay late.
All get redacted and late, because I know a bunch of
The
them. come-
questionnaires should be redacted as we receive them. The
But
problem
they,
is-
they have them,
but
but
they
you get a
come in
bunch of
that
them that
day.
day.
Yeah.
So if the ones that come in that day, you know, do the best you can, but
Mm-hmm.
if they can't get there, they can't get there. If somebody wants to reach out to me to find out which ones are most important, I can give guidance on that.
Thank you. And I have arranged so that Francine is going to be working Friday instead of tomorrow. I think.
Okay,
Anyway,
great.
this, we shifted her day so that we have an extra pair of hands for
Is
Friday.
okay, we can talk about that offline.
great.
Probably just for this week each
Okay.
month. But that's,
Okay,
Perfect.
and that's all I got unless there are questions.
thank you. Next, we'll go to the review of the draft June and future calendars. We're just gonna limit it to June for today. You'll note that the May, for the last week, that there is no traffic and transportation committee meeting. That meeting has been canceled.
The last week of May.
Yeah. I believe it's up to.
TNT in June has been scheduled now. It's the 30th. That's on the sheet there. That's-
Okay. So I will ask for those agenda items over separate cover. Thank you, everyone who's replied with your agenda items. If there's no other questions on the calendar, then we'll move on to the next thing. We'll be sending out after full board, not that I expect anyone to do this over the holiday weekend by any means, but for exec in June, to have your 6-month outlook completed.
Okay.
So I'll send that template. So with that, excuse me. Okay, so next we'll go to reports. And so we'll go with street activities and just looking for like two minutes.
Yeah, so our meeting this month was led by Eddie. I was not there. A number, we're getting to the busy part of the year, a number of resos. I think it was only one denial this time around, which was due to someone trying to do an activity where there's no way a pedestrian walkway could be maintained. There's also a piece of new business that was introduced that relates to amendments or an updated version, I guess, of the PRIAA, Packaging Reduction Act, going to New York State legislature. So that was introduced and passed as new business as well. And that's it.
Thank you. SLA 1 and 2, just doing 1 minute of reports, please.
We had busy committees as usual, and we have a 45 Howard came back again. We initially heard them in July. We're recommending denial of that. It's 2 applications for that location. And then on SLA 2, Judy Z's, we're also recommending denial of their sidewalk and roadway. You may have people come to full board to speak on 45 Howard.
45.
45 Howard.
Howard.
I don't think they won't be in disagreement with the resolution, but they may be coming to speak. So,
Okay, great, thanks. Thanks for the time back. Next, we have Parks and Waterfront.
We were asked to hold a discussion about a community discussion on whether Parks and Recreation should replace the system that's used to close the park, which are temporary French police barricades, French barricades owned by the police, currently used each day and rolled out each day. And we had a long discussion. And the notes are in there, and the resolution we wrote was requesting the Department of Parks and Recreation produce and present alternatives to the French barricade system that's currently employed. And we passed that, approved. Just asking DPR to undertake the effort and expense to produce and present community alternatives to those barricades.
Great, next cannabis licensing, which I don't believe met this month. But Mark, do you have?
she's shaking her head.
Okay, thanks.
No, we didn't meet. We are meeting in June. We are going to go over a series of cannabis bills, and we might have 2 applications. At this time, neither look compliant. We're going to do a deep dive and find out, but so far 2 applications and legislative review is on the agenda for our June 8th meeting.
Great, yeah, if you have any specific bill numbers you could get over to us, we can get those on the calendar now. Thank you. Next, we'll go to land use and housing.
Sure. For our meeting this month, we discussed 142 Green Street, which is one of the first, actually, it is the first housing development, which is going to be paying into the mandatory inclusionary housing fee in lieu option. We had a good discussion there. We had both the applicant as well as a representative from HPD. And we also took up a short discussion on the zoning resolutions mentioned in the zoning challenge to the DOB regarding 5 West 13th Street. There were no resolutions from our meeting. We simply have a report for information that we learned on these 2 items. Okay.
Okay. Next, landmarks. We have a report from landmarks. I don't think Chenault's going to be here. Is that correct?
Chenault is not here. Brian was on standby, but Brian's no longer on.
Okay.
So I just texted him the link in case he could join.
Okay, we'll move on to traffic and transportation. Janine, 1 minute.
We have we have 3 resolutions, and the most interesting one, which is over 3 meetings of discussion, is the redesign of Lafayette 4th Avenue, Astor Place, 8th Street, and 13th Street. And there's now a landing page on the CB2 website with links to all the different presentations, the minutes from our March meeting, and the combined minutes and resolutions from our April meeting. That's it.
So is there going to be a follow-up meeting to that or no?
No, unless something changes at the full board. And
Great. So then nothing else on the standing committee reports, then we will go to new business.
Okay.
Is Janine or Mar? I don't know. Who's-
Yeah, I'll present it. Unless Mar wants to. So everybody had a copy of Mark shared a copy of the resolution. It's basically a resolution in support of the expansion of Lower Manhattan Community Middle School into Essex through 12 school. And it's a District 2 middle school that about 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5, depending on the year of PS3 students choose to attend this middle school. So it really does serve a big chunk of our community, although it does draw students from throughout District 2 as well as throughout the city. And basically a high school that was very low enrollment is in the process of being closed. This is the last year. So there is space in this building. And there's been bunch of parents at LMC have been pushing this and so pushing to expand to a 6 through 12 school. And there's links to this basically the resolution supports the expansion of the school, requests any future utilization, prioritize coherent single facility programming, and insists that everybody work together to make this happen. I prepared this with Patricia Laria and Mar Fitzgerald. So if anyone has any questions, please let me know. Okay.
Any discussion or questions?
There.
Okay.
Would it require like is it gonna be a build out of the current building or?
So right now, no, so there's 3, right now there's 3 schools in the building and 1 out of 3 is leaving. And so there's already space, it's contiguous with the school, so it wouldn't require a build out. And when we went through the process as a board and a community at 75 Morton, we had a lot of discussions whether we wanted 2 middle schools there or 1. And of course, there's also a District 75 school, but all new construction has that in New York City. And the general consensus after a lot of public meetings and research and bringing in experts is whenever there's 2 schools sharing a building, there's always the alpha school and the beta school. And you kind of see the other 2 schools are the one that's leaving is a high school, and then the third one is also a high school. So in general, it's sharing space is really tough because you are sharing the cafeteria, you're sharing elevators in this case, because it's a high rise, you're sharing gym space. And I think it's a lot easier for schools to operate with the fewer schools that share the space. So it's already there. I don't know if they probably would need like a stairwell connection or something like that, but nothing too significant. And also just in general, when schools expand, they would add one grade at a time. So it's right now a 6 through 8 school. So if they expand it, it would go to 9th grade and 10th, 11th, and 12th. Typically, the schools don't add multiple years at a single time. So it's phased in, so it makes the growth much more manageable.
So you're, CB1 passed, CB1 held a public session, a public meeting, and they passed the resolution. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they did in March, and there's a link to that in number 12.
We have, yeah, I see it now. Do we have, does our resolution disagree with theirs in any way?
Well, theirs was a little more complicated, which is why there had been a proposal by the city to put an AI school in there. And then the chancellor withdrew that. And so, you know, it's just it's a bad situation where you're basically taking two good options and putting them against each other. So that option is withdrawn. So it's a blank slate. So this is just, there's open space, and I think it's an easier resolution.
Got it.
Thanks for the explanation.
Would we benefit from hearing from people about this instead of passing it here? Because I'm working with Emma to hold, serving in an interim role to hold a meeting to have Project Renewal come in and speak about the women's shelter that's opening. We were looking to do that at the end of June or in July, just immediately after it opens. And so we could pair this in there. If we think that we would benefit.
Well, first of all, I know Mar has a question, but I'm, as a former chair of the Schools and Education Committee, two thoughts. One, July meetings we had a ton of summer meetings during COVID, but it's not a great time to get parents for schools. Second, this is the timing for making decisions is now, the way the DOE works. I actually would have suggested a public hearing, but at the last full board meeting, the response was to bring resolutions as new business to the board. So that's exactly what we're doing. Also, I personally, and I'm sure Mar did and Patricia, I attended a siting meeting on this topic. And I briefly attended via Zoom the CB1 meeting. But I know Mar and Patricia attended those meetings. So from the people who've drafted this are very knowledgeable from hearing from parents. And as a board, we've passed resolutions, for example, opposing the Chinatown jail and not having our own public hearing, but basing it on what Community Board 1 did as well. So this is also consistent with what we've done in the past.
Great, thank you for that context. Context really is everything. So with that, is there any unwillingness to
Mar has her hand up.
No, I'm sorry, I can't see it. It's not showing for me.
So,
Mar?
yes.
Hi.
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 Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so to add to what Janine said, if you look at the resolution, there's an inordinate amount of footnotes showing the collaboration and support between Community Board 1 and Community Board 2 historically, dating back to 2014. We often share each other's initiatives and support each other's resolutions. It has always been. There have been many public forums for this. There is a change.org. The other application, the other proposal for this site is gone. LMC has been trying to expand for years. There's now an official expansion proposal on the table. Now is the time. And as Janine said, we have to do this now because schools don't meet, schools committees don't meet, schools, everybody's away. The best time is now, and there's really no reason we can't do it now, or we should do it now responsibly. Anyway.
Great.
Okay.
Great. I love footnotes. I really love APA, but I love footnotes. This is so great. Okay, so with that, is there any unwillingness to vote on this resolution that has been presented here as new business? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Recusals? Thank you very much. Thank you, Mar and Janine and Patricia. So with that, that concludes the public portion of our meeting this evening. As you can see on the agenda, I will ask for a motion to adjourn in just one moment. We will go into executive session, which is for community board 2 members only. I see, do you have a list of who's on the Zoom here from CB2? So if you'll send them that link and circulate it to us here. And so with that, I'm going to ask if there's a motion to adjourn at 6:54 p.m.
So moved.
Motion to adjourn. Let's do
Is there a
this
second?
again next month.
We have a second? A second from Donna. Thank you so much. So we're going to close off the Zoom and close the public portion of our meeting. And any CB2 members that are on here, Mark has taken down your names and we'll send you the updated link. Thank you so much. We close this?
Second.
Thank you.